So today, the topic for Girl Talk with Crystal is life is now. So unless you guys are sending me like a topic you want to hear, and you know what? Life is now. If I want to keep my life, I need to go get my ring because I just realized when I washed my hair, I didn't put it back on. And I don't need my husband popping on my live talking about where's your ring at. So let me see how fast I can run. Be right back. Okay, so that was actually a perfect example of what I'm talking about today, because how often, and what made me bring up this topic in the first place was I'm always giving you guys what I'm working on in my life. So it's like whatever I'm focusing on, then I just share my experience because I'm like, I can't be the only one struggling with this. Now I'm out of breath because one thing that I'm working on is I haven't worked out since I had Noli, and she's 9.5 months. And I usually go back 6 weeks or 8 weeks, whatever, when we get cleared. So I'm so out of shape. But if you follow my content, you know that my motto is something has to bleed. So what's been bleeding in my life is my self-care. And so let me bring it down. I learned this in karate. Okay. Speaking of karate, I just moved my classes to Thursdays. I asked her if we could change the day because I want to do leadership at my church. Hi, Erica. I want to do leadership at my church, and it's on Tuesdays, and I wasn't able to do it because of karate. But it's like, which one is a priority, karate or church? But I also am like committed to being committed to my commitments. And I realized, like, I noticed myself starting to be like, okay, I did karate, like posted it on Instagram a couple of times. That was cute. Like, I'm done with this. Right. But like, that's the pattern I have in my life, is like getting excited about something, starting it, and then not keep staying committed to it. So I committed to karate for a whole year, and then I can decide what to do. Well, we're getting ready to go into a promotion, and we just did the first call of the Fox Project today, and I was teaching them how when we don't want something, when our being doesn't want change to come about, it will create obstacles that we will believe. And I use an example of I'll give you that, guys, the example, because I'm looping like crazy, which I learned this from my mentor, is when you're talking and you open a story and then you open another story. I have like 10 stories open right now. So I'm going to try to remember all the stuff that I was trying to tell you guys. But my point of the karate story was that I'm committed to putting faith as my priority, but I'm also committed to keeping my commitment. So instead of just being like, I can't do this or I can't do that, I have to quit karate or I can't go to church, I had to figure out how I could do both. And I asked her, can we move our day? And so she's going to move our day for us. So I don't remember my point of bringing that up. Oh, because I was using the breathing. And then my ring situation, being that that's a perfect example of what I wanted to talk to you guys about today, is my whole topic today is life is now. It's all about what in your life are you putting off to tomorrow, to next week, to even, like with my ring, I hesitated because I'm like, oh, I could put my ring on when I'm done. But the truth is that I knew I wanted to put it on now, because it's just, I'm training my brain to do things right now. Like, don't put off till later or tomorrow anything that you can do right now. And one of the things that I've been learning in like this, how to like organize your brain and release overwhelm, is anything you can do on your to-do list that you can do in under 5 minutes, just go and do it. Like, do it right away. And so, hi, Brandy, my new friend. And so what can you do? Do it right now. And so that's why I went and got my ring right now, because I promise you, I probably would have finished the live and then forgot all about my ring. And like, here's why I'm such a big advocate of self-awareness, of commitment, of all these things, because me and my husband are in a fragile place right now. And I don't mean fragile like our relationship. I just mean we have a lot going on. Like we have a lot of transition happening. We have a lot of change. We have a lot of growth. We have the highs, we have the lows. We're taxed on a lot of angles. Like from just he got in a car accident, my daughter hurt herself in soccer, just like bills, like our house, we got fined. Like we have a lot coming at us like this, okay? I am committed to seeing where I can be the best wife for my husband. And one thing that we have argued about is he hates when I forget wearing my ring. So I'm using that example of even though it's not the big deal, and I could totally argue him, I forgot, chill out, it's not that deep. If that's something that bothers him, then it is that deep. And why am I going to add that where he could possibly come home any minute, because this is around the time he gets home, and be like, dang, you didn't even wear your ring today, blah, blah, blah. And I already know we're in a stressful state of being. Whenever you can alleviate things, alleviate them. So that wasn't my message for today, but what made me think that life is now is this theme has been popping up in my mind a lot lately, a lot of all the areas of my life that I'm just putting off until tomorrow. And especially because I just finished up the sales cycle for the Fox project for our next wave. And I talked to a lot of people. A lot of you guys DM'd me. A lot of you guys, we got on the phone. A lot of us were texting people who would be like, I'm interested. And then as soon as they see the price and investment, then that's the clue of not the clue, but that's the moment of truth of how committed are you actually to doing this work. And so I've been having a lot of this life is now conversation, because unfortunately what a lot of people said was, I want it, but I'm not ready yet. I'm going to do it when I get my money right. I'm going to do it when I have more time. I'm working on a lot of stuff over here. So when I get that right, then I'll focus on that. And there's all these reasons. And so between all those conversations and then in my own life, one thing I'm learning from my mentor is we create everything. So I'm clearly sourcing people not having an urgency about their life because I'm not having an urgency about my life. And I started self-reflecting as I started looking at what's the biggest objection I'm getting from people in taking their life on and doing transformation work. And that was the number one objection. I want this, but I'm working on some things. I just started, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And it's putting it off until later. So at the same time of having all these reminders that life is now, then I've seen people, I have a friend who's battling breast cancer and she's 33, she's young, and it's she's battling her life. She's showing up every single day, life is now, because she goes to bed at night not knowing if she'll wake up the next day. She goes to bed at night knowing she might have 6 months of her life, or not that much time left. So she's not going to bed I'm going to start next year. I'm going to start Monday. I'm going to start next week. I know we can't engage on here, but how many of you guys throw some hearts out if you can relate to the mindset of I'm going to start that diet on Monday. I'm going to start being more present with my kids on tomorrow or on Monday, or because I'm a Monday. If it's not the first of the month, or the first of the year, or the first of the week, I'm not doing it. And so what I do is I set, oh, I want to do that. Okay, it's Wednesday. Cool. I'm going to start on Monday. I put everything off until Monday. And then Monday comes and I fall short again. I see we got some Monday starters. So Monday comes and starts. And then there's a new version of, dang, you know what? It's kind of the end of the month. So I'm going to just start at the top of next month. I'll start in June. And then top of June comes. Hi. Oh, hi. I'm okay, so Jason calls me Buns, and I was like, is he here? That's not his IG. Hi, Leah. So, I got my baby hairs popping too. I needed you to bless my edges because I was struggling, but I got them enough. They're all right. They're all right. But so how often are you putting things off until later on today, tomorrow, Monday, next week, next month, next year? And I want you guys to just pay attention to how often you're putting something off, and then ask yourself, can I do this right now, or can this do this later? So the example, like one of the examples I could give you guys before I kind of wrap it up is, so we started, and I'm giving you guys this example because I want to pay this forward to anybody who this could bless. So I hired a parenting coach, and yes, Aaliyah. So I hired a parenting coach because one of the areas, I'm always working on an area of my life. So, you know, when like a few years back, I hired a personal trainer, and I really dove into learning how to work out in the gym and really work on my body. And like, that was fun. Now I need to get back to that, but I know the baseline. And, you know, like a couple years ago, I also hired a mentor because I wanted to start a business and I wanted to be successful. And I know that we need stewardship in all areas of our life. My next hire is going to be around my money. I'm actually working on that right now. So my mentor that I have right now, that's built in what she teaches. But after I'm done with her, I want to be working on my money. So I'm always hiring help from people who are more qualified than me, who need sleep. I'm always hiring help from people who are steps ahead of me in the area I want to improve. So right now, the area that I want to improve is my parenting, because yes, I have 5 kids. That doesn't mean I'm a good mom. I know people tell me all the time I'm a good mom, but what I have been feeling for the last 6 months to a year is that I'm good at doing motherhood, but I'm not good at being a mom. So the difference, and I've been saying this a lot lately, so if you've heard me say this already, I'm sorry, but I'm going to repeat it for those who haven't. But I'm good at my kids are fed, and I actually fail at that. I freaking forgot. My kids' school had to call me today because I forgot I was going to order them Chipotle for delivery, and because we ran out of lunch. Our girl that's been helping us cooked so good. We ate all of our lunch yesterday in one day, and so she's cooking 2 meals at a time, 2 days worth. Anyways, I forgot to order them lunch, so failed at even doing that. But I'm good at feeding my kids, putting clothes on their back. Oh, it's your birthday. What are we doing for your birthday? Or what are we doing for Thanksgiving? Or Christmas is coming up. Gotta bake cookies for Santa. And I'm good at doing all the things that we're supposed to do as a mom, right? But I'm not good at just getting down and dirty and sitting with my kids and playing and just being connected and present and fully there. And that's not what I want. Especially because not only do our kids need that, but I'm realizing in all the work that I'm doing, all of my self-worth issues, all of my self-doubt issues, all of my worthiness conversations, all of my not trusting myself, that all comes from my 0 to 8. That comes from me being disconnected in my childhood. My mom did the best she could, but she was in survival mode to some extent of putting food on the table and doing motherhood for us, taking care of us, paying the bills, putting a roof over our head, making sure we got to every practice, making sure we got to school. To some people, that's okay. That's enough. That to most of us, that's all we know. That's all my mom knew. My dad wasn't there at all, didn't have that. So I had a disconnected childhood to an extent, and very connected and loving. Don't get me wrong. Part of me hates talking about that because I don't ever want to out my parents as if they were bad. They did the best they could. Even my dad leaving, not being there. In the work I've done, realizing that we are not a victim to our circumstance, I don't blame my dad for my childhood. I just thank God that he's given me the awareness to wake up and step into doing the self-work to undo the damage that was done by not having my dad be there. But when I think of my dad as a person, I think of my mom raising us saying, hurt people. Whatever my dad went through, whatever his childhood was, that's what he repeated. I'm just committed to not repeating the crap that I don't want to repeat. The stuff that I realize I'm paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to reverse and to heal it within myself, the self-work that I'm doing, I want to break that crap with my kids. And part of that has to do with I am not present. I am not so I did a leadership training, and we did an exercise where we're looking in each other's eyes. It wasn't even leadership. It was this retreat that I went to, and we did this exercise where we're holding hands and we're looking at each other in the eye, and it was the most uncomfortable thing that I have ever done. And then I realized I haven't looked at any of my kids. I don't even think I've looked in my husband's eyes for longer than a minute, literally. And so I was thinking about that, and not that looking in each other's eyes means anything, but it means everything if you think about it. To be able to be connected, the eyes are the windows to the soul. So I was like, oh my gosh, then I realized, this was like a year or so ago, maybe 2. Then I realized my middle child, my 5-year-old, but at the time she was 4, maybe 3 going on 4. I realized I had never even been alone with her. Like I had never even just went me and her to somewhere, because I was so busy doing that it was like, oh, gotta go to soccer, gotta cook, gotta clean, gotta get laundry done, gotta do this, gotta do that, gotta keep up with my business, that I wasn't just being. I wasn't fully present with any one of my kids. So like I remembered that for the last couple of years, I remembered my grandma. I interviewed her when I was in high school. She had 7 kids. And I remember she told me that her only regret to having so many kids was that she wasn't able to be fully present. It was more of like an assembly line. So now that I'm reaching up to 5 and even asking my husband, like, let's just try one more time for a boy, like even that, now that I'm reaching closer to 7, I'm seeing what that assembly line looks like, and I'm committed to that not being our story. And I realized why, sometimes, and this is why I teach vision, sometimes it takes you seeing what you want to reverse engineer how you're going to get there. So I want, in the future, when my kids go off to college, I want them to call mom. Like I want them to they got a boy talk to them and they're nervous and they're like, I don't know what I should wear. Maybe they're not going to call me for what to wear, but I mean, that's even goals. Like I plan on having a personal stylist, so they probably will call me like, Mom, can I borrow Clarissa to style me because I'm going on a date? Like, who knows? But my vision is that my kids think of me like their best friend, and they want to call me for everything. They want to celebrate with me. They want to call me when things are tough. They want to call me when things are going well. And so what I realized was, if I just provide for my kids at the baseline, and I'm just giving them a roof over their head, and I'm just putting food into their body, then once I'm done, once they go to college and they have a dorm room over their head or an apartment over their head, and they're feeding themselves, they're not going to need me. They're not even going to be thinking about me. They're going to be on to the next, and they're going to be doing to me what I did to them. Like, okay, I don't need her anymore. So, and not that I do that to them, but it's like I cover the survival basics. So my vision for my relationship with my kids is that it's deeper than just doing. It's deeper than just providing the basic needs. I want to go deeper with them. I want to talk to them. I want to let them express themselves, which is the other part of my parenting that I absolutely hate, which is reactive parenting. So I'm like, no, why'd you do that? Oh my gosh, like they could spill something and I'm freaking mad. Like, why'd you spill it? Oh, maybe because I'm a 3-year-old or a 5 or even an 11-year-old and I'm a human and I make mistakes. But I'm so quick to be so frustrated and overwhelmed with my own shit that I project that on my kids, and I flip out because the floor I was about to say I just cleaned. I didn't clean my floor, but my floor is clean and now it's dirty. And I have stuff to do. I need to go here. We need to be there. We're always rushing. We're always running late. And now I'm flipping out because you spilled something or whatever. No, your kids will always be close just like you. Yeah, but that's what you think. Like, that's what people think from the outside looking in. So that's basically where, like, the two things, being present and connected and being loving, patient, and kind with my kids, are the things that I'm working on. So all of that to say, because I did not mean to go on such a tangent, when in hiring this coach, I've been working on that. And so challenging me to do activities to like change this in my life, and then going to that retreat. What we're doing now every night is we set the alarm, and this is what I wanted to share for any moms and dads who want to do this. We set the alarm on the timer on the phone for a minute, and we hold each other's hands and we look at each other in the eyes for a minute straight. And at first I didn't tell them what it was for. I just said, you guys want to play a game? We're going to do like a staring contest, and here's the rules. You can't talk. You can laugh, you can cry, you can smile, you can do whatever, but you can't talk and you can't look away or close your eyes. And so here's what was so crazy, you guys, about this exercise. My 11-year-old, when she did it, it was like she had ants in her pants. She was like, oh my God, oh, my head is itching. Stop doing that, guys. And she couldn't do it. Like, literally, it was killing her to look me in the eye for a minute straight. It was the most eye-opening, amazing, and disheartening experience ever. Like, oh my God. And then with each one, it got less and less comfortable with each age. So down to getting to Indy, oh my God, you guys, it was like the sweetest thing I've ever seen. She's like holding my hands. She's doing her little smile. She does. She's like, and she just literally stared at me for a minute straight, like with her little smile and the joy in her eyes. And I was like, oh my God, thank you, Jesus. I haven't freaking ruined her yet. But I've realized the damage I've done to my kids because of shutting them down, shutting down their expression. A thing that we say in our house all the time is don't cry, stop crying. And like now knowing what I know, being the conscious parent that I'm determined and committed to being, I know how bad and detrimental that is. Don't tell your kid not to cry. And so now it's like, it's okay, you can cry. Like even if they're whining and they're crying because they're being a bratty ass kid, I say, I don't mind you crying. That's okay, but let's get to why you're crying. Like what's going on? Like tell me more of what's making you cry. But like the old me would have been like, stop crying, be quiet. Like go over there. I don't want to hear you cry. Like, ugh, it curls my skin now to know the different ways of being in my parenting that I've been up until being aware of it. I did a shaming course. It was a course all on how we shame our kids and we don't even realize it, even down to little things that we did this too. Like your sister didn't do that, or you're a big girl, you're not supposed to do that, or don't do that, or and then I teach and preach, don't compare yourself, but yeah, I'm telling my own kids, like, your sister didn't do that, blah, blah, blah. So all of this to say, because this isn't even what I was going to talk about, but I feel like this was a word maybe somebody needed to hear, because I was not planning on talking about any of this. But my point of bringing all of this up is, actually, this was my point. Was yesterday, so we've been doing this for about 2 weeks now, committedly, and yesterday we got to, like, and it's so sweet, like, Indy doesn't let me forget, like, can we do the eye thing? And then my oldest is like, I don't want to do it today, like, not today. And so I'll tell you right now, Erica. So my point of that was, my oldest last night, we're both tired. We kind of did bedtime before she got in there because she was late from soccer. And so we're doing the bedtime routine. And I got through all the girls and I got to her and I said, do you want to do it? And she was like, no, I'll do it tomorrow. And in that moment, I caught it and I almost was like, okay, because I didn't even feel like doing it. And not because I didn't feel like doing it, but just because I was ready to get them to bed and go and like just be free for a moment. And I remember, no, life is now. And that was like my whole point of this talk today is like, we don't have tomorrow. Like God forbid, but like, what if she didn't wake up or I didn't wake up today and we didn't do our eye thing one more time that we could have done it? Or like, what if that one time of us not doing it would have started the routine of starting something and not finishing? Because that's where it begins. It's that one day that you say, I don't feel like working out today. I don't feel like drinking enough water today. I don't feel like being present and connected. I don't feel like working on this. I don't feel like doing that. What if it's those moments when we don't feel like doing things that we actually keep doing them even though we don't feel like it? Because life happens whether we feel like it or not. And so that was just my moment of like, whatever you can do today, do it today. Whatever you could do right now in the next 5 minutes, do it in the next 5 minutes. Stop putting things off, because that's where overwhelm starts to build up on your life. That's where you start to like pile up this mental to-do list of stuff that if you would have just did it the moment you remembered it, like running and grabbing my ring, now it's one less thing I have to do I do when I get off of this life. So life is right now. And the second part of that is just for us to stop living so selfishly as if we have tomorrow. I know when I did this event with my friend Clarissa a couple weeks ago, and the girl Sierra who was moderating, she said our pastor at our church said that, and I don't know if this is verbatim, but it's something around the lines of procrastination is an arrogant assumption that we have tomorrow to do what God wanted us to do. And so where in your life are you assuming that tomorrow I'll start that business that God's put on my heart, or tomorrow I'll start being a better wife or a better mother or a better friend or a better coworker, or I'll just start working out, I'll start eating better? Like, taking care of our body is a self-full act. It is something that we get to do that says, you're worthy of living another day. I teach and preach health, and I've dimmed it down on my social platform because I'm laser focused with what I want to be known in the industry for, but I still teach it offline. And one of the things that I get the most is like, oh, we're all going to die anyways. We're dying every day. And it's like, yeah, but why not add extra years of quality to your life? And why not feed your body the way you feel? Like, feed yourself the way you're worth. Like, if you're not feeding yourself like healthy and properly, that's a self-worth thing. That's you not realizing how much you matter. That's why, like, when I realized how much I fell off of drinking water, I started to have to ask myself, like, Crystal, like, if you really matter, then you'll drink more water, because water is 70% of your body. That's part of why you have joint pain and gut issues and all of these different things happening, because you don't even drink water. So instead of being like, Monday, I'm going to get better with my water, I committed yesterday actually, but today. So yesterday was when I thought of it, and I just got my water bottle out, and I'm like, I'm doing this. I'm committed. And the moment I start to not take my supplements or not eat lunch, like I went and heated up my lunch, because normally I have things to do and I'd rather just not eat and skip a meal. But then I complain about being skinny and looking like a sick crackhead. Forgive me for saying that. I feel like I need to stop saying that. But like, I complain about being skinny, but yet I'm not eating meals throughout the day. So where in your life are you complaining? Where in your life are you putting things off when you could actually do them? And I'll end on this note, and then I'm going to answer your question, Erica. But like, I was talking to a friend yesterday who was like, yeah, I'm going to hire this marketing team and they're going to help me do but I got to get my money right to afford them. And I'm like, so what can you do now? So I want to tell you guys this quick story. There was a speaker at the conference that I went to this last weekend, and she told this story, and I'm going to paraphrase it because I want to wrap this up. But she said how she would go to her grandma's house and they would be playing outside, and then they'd come in for a snack, and she would be like, there's no food. She was like, it would be like mayonnaise and lard and bread and things that kids can't do anything with. But then they'd come in for dinner, and there would be a whole feast, like macaroni and cheese and like biscuits and all this like bomb food. And she would be like, how the heck did grandma put that together? And so her analogy was, what's in your fridge right now? Like, just the way her grandma would take what was in the fridge when other people couldn't see anything, the kids couldn't see anything, but with intention and a vision and hard work and discipline, the grandma put together, and she was like just enough temperature and taking it out the oven just in time and drizzling the butter on top. With all of that, the grandma created this feast. So where in your life, and just like I told my friend who was like, I gotta wait to hire this marketing team, that's an excuse. That's us buying one more day to put off what we're fearing. The reality is, you have everything in your fridge right now, everything in your cupboard, everything inside of you to do what God's asking you to do. Because if you didn't, he wouldn't be asking you to do it. What you need to do is step into that, step out on faith, and trust yourself, and trust that God shows up. God already created everything around us. All of the people, all of the opportunities, all of the blessings are already there. It's when we take back our blinders and our fear, and we step out on faith, and we actually step into what God wanted us to do in order that for us to show up. And I believe it doesn't show up until we commit, because that's where faith comes in. We don't know how things are going to happen. We just don't, until we just say, I'm committed, and things just come out of the sky. And so like I told my friend yesterday, or like the speaker, Dr. Meyer at the conference said, what can you do right now? So if you're putting something off, I can't start my business because I need fill in the blank. What can you do? So you don't have fill in the blank. That's fine. But what do you have? And I told her, I'm like, just start. And I gave her my coaching of what I think she should do to just start right now. There's a thousand things. I'm like, mind you, because it was a referral from me of what she was going to hire. I'm like, mind you, I just hired them, and I've been operating in business for 3 years. So what could you do? Let me tell you the list of things that I did before I got to the place of hiring them. So then she realized, like, oh yeah, that was just me holding on to one more excuse to buy ourselves out of what we wanted to actually do, right? And so you get to just ask yourself, am I living right now? If today were your last day, I'm going to end on this, and then I'm going to answer Erica's question. If today were your last day on this earth, Did you do everything today that you were possibly capable of? Or is there something that you're putting off till tomorrow, or till you get your money right, or till you get everything right? What can you do now? Maybe you can't commit to that thing that requires more money, more whatever, more knowledge, more direction, but what can you do with what you have? And so that concludes today's Girl Talk of Life is Now. Life is here and now. But to answer your question, Erica, so the I thing, it was a retreat, and it was really just building connection and intimacy, like you said. It was like we only had 2 days together, and it was like, look in the eyes of the people around you. Like, let's just be quiet for a moment. Let's just listen to the silence. Let's be okay with just being here, being present. And it was a way of grounding everybody into the room and into like just being there. And it's interesting because I am adopting this as something I will do in my programs. And like when I spoke at the event this week and I had the audience do it, and it was the craziest thing to see how uncomfortable it was. Like everyone was quiet listening to me talk, and then I said, I want you to grab the hands of the people next to you, and I want you to look at somebody's eyes, and I want you to stare them in the eye. And all of a sudden the room erupted like my oldest daughter did. Talking, laughing. It was so uncomfortable. We are so uncomfortable with just being here and now and connected to the present moment and to the people. But yeah, no, the girls love it. I love it. It's like, and so for me, what I want to come of it, 2 things for me, my intention of it. One is that no matter how busy my days get, I know that I at least spent 1 minute of solid connection with my kids. And Alina, oh, I love that. And so I want one solid connection with my kids. So if they didn't get to see me and I didn't get to see them today because life got the best of us, I at least gave them 1 solid minute. Like, I see you, baby girl. And I tell them like, so as we're growing into it, one of the things that we're going to start adding into it as you guys try it out and graduate is we're going to be adding in like, tell them a story with your eyes. So for me, I'm not telling them to do that to me yet because they're not there yet. But for me, I'm telling them how much I love them with my eyes. I'm just like, I'm looking at them and I'm looking as deep into them as I can. And I'm thinking words of encouragement. I'm just thinking like, wow, you're powerful. You're so strong. Indy, you're healed. I love you, baby girl. I admire your strength. I admire how you show up every day and you smile despite the condition of your skin. Or I'll look at Giselle and I'll just be like, Mommy, sorry for the years of doing my best, but not doing my best now. Like now what I know is my best, not doing that, but I'm here and I'm here now and I'm committed to you and I'm committed to being a better mom. I'm saying this with my eyes. So I'm not verbally saying this, but that's what I'm thinking as I'm looking in their eyes. And I know, so that's the intention. And then, so I think those are the 2 things, having that connection and then like telling them with their eyes. So then the second part of what I want is just the confidence. Like one of the things I learned in leadership is powerful leaders, when you're successful in life and in business, you know how to have eye contact. You know how to have a solid, confident eye contact conversation with people. And I realize now that I'm aware of that, I pay attention to how often I'm talking to somebody. You guys pay attention to it next time. People don't look at each other in the eye. We're kind of like over here. We'll look every now and then to make sure the person is still there. But I'm blown away at all the conversations I have. And I'm just staring right at the person's eyes and they're all over the place. And so you can start recognizing it there. So for me, I want to instill that power into my girls now so that as they grow up and they become powerful women in the world, they're not afraid to look at people in the eye. That doesn't make them uncomfortable. They know better. And what was cool is Barry, my second one, Erilyn, she was like, can I do 3 minutes? So we do 3 minutes. And so, I want them to be able to go as long as they possibly can, just being able to look into people's eyes. So I love you guys. We're way over, but I hope that this was helpful for you. And I just appreciate you guys tuning in every Wednesday at 1:30, Girl Talk with Crystal, which I'll probably be changing the name because one of the powerful speakers I met at the conference I was at has a whole brand called Girl Talk. So I'm like, and then when I was searching Girl Talk, we literally, me and Mimi, like randomly named it one day, like 5 minutes before I went live. And so we didn't put much thought into calling this a thing. And so when I was looking at Instagram, I was searching for the girls' Instagram page, and I put Girl Talk. There's hella Girl Talk. So I was like, okay, we're going to have to change the name of this. But anyways, we're talking. And I was never 100% sold on it anyways, now that I think about it, because I was just like, we're like, I don't know. I had all these different things. So long story short, talking with Crystal every Wednesday, 1:30. On Zoom, so I can record it. And if you're here, like, my vision is that I'm not talking the whole time and we're interacting. But as of right now, it's pretty much me talking. So I get to work on that. But we're on Zoom and we're on Instagram Live. So love you guys. Have a good day.